Welcome to the Bible for My Friends. I'm John Swanson. In this series of videos, I'll share with you some of the ways that I approach the Bible. Ways that show up in my writing, my teaching, my conversations with God and with others. Ways that have helped people say, "You helped me look at the Bible differently." Sometimes, when you read through the stories of Jesus, you start to think that he's eating all the time. Or at least thinking about food. From the fast that started his ministry, to the water into wine story, to the Last Supper, there are many stories built around food. So what if, to help understand the settings for the teachings of Jesus, you planned some parties? I've got 5 suggestions, and they're numbers 16 to 20 of our ways to read the Bible. Number 16, I call this the Outsider's Feast. You can read about 2 of these feasts. One is with Matthew, and that's in Luke 5. The other is with Simon the leper in Matthew 26. These are events where someone is viewed as a religious outsider, has a feast, and invites Jesus as the guest. So, try this. Invite some neighbors, and invite the person you know who is most comfortable in talking like Jesus. It's almost like a dinner murder mystery thing, but no one gets killed. Now, sometime during the beginning of the party, or near the beginning of the party, read one of these passages, and then point out who the Jesus is, and then go ahead and eat and talk. And you may want to even ask Jesus a question that follows up with, it puts us in the middle of, what's it like to have Jesus as a dinner guest? You could, if you wanted to take it a little further, looking at the Luke 5 passage, you could put some Pharisees looking in the window. That would just be creepy and pretty accurate to the text. All right, number 17, the Back from the Dead Feast. This is from the story of Lazarus in Matthew 12, 1 to 11. His sister Martha held a feast with 2 special guests, Lazarus, who had been dead a week before, and Jesus. Now, try this. Have dinner with somebody who has survived some scary situation. Maybe an accident, maybe heart surgery, maybe brain surgery. Have a feast that celebrates the return and God's protection and the opportunity to gather together and laugh. Celebrate this amazing thing. And you could read the story of Lazarus if you wanted. All right, number 18. I call this the Not Last Supper. Get together with a dozen friends at some time other than Easter. Plan a really slow meal where you sit and you just take your time through the evening eating. And as some part of it, read the words of Jesus from John 13 to 17, but do it around a table and do it taking your time. If you want to add to the experience, everybody wears sandals and wash people's feet early on. It takes you into the middle of the story. But make sure that whoever reads it doesn't read it with a deep voice. Just reads it descriptively. Number 19, the 5 loaves and 2 fish feast. There's a story in Matthew and Mark and Luke and John about Jesus feeding a large crowd of people. There were 5,000 men, so there were probably 15 or 20,000 people there. And Jesus fed them all with 5 loaves and 2 fish. So, have some people come over. Talk for a long time. And then when it's time to eat, bring out a small basket with 5 dinner rolls and a couple of smoked fish or bluegills or a couple of sardines. And I don't care whether you never bring out more food to help the people gathered around to understand how little food this was that then was multiplied to feed the whole crowd, or if, whether you've seen the point, you celebrate with more food. Number 20. I call this a no one came feast. In Luke chapter 14, Jesus tells a parable about a man who planned a feast. He invited his friends, and then as the food was ready, he sent a servant to go tell them that they could come. And when the servant shows up, the people make excuses. And so the man says to the servant, go invite everybody. Got all this food, go bring in people. So try that. Go to a park that's got picnic tables, maybe a city park where there's going to be lots of traffic around. Get someone who is an amazing cook. Set up a grill and start grilling. Wonderful food so the smell travels everywhere. Set the tables as well as you can. Bring china if you want. Have a feast ready. And then, as people walk by talking about how good it smells, invite them to join you. I don't know how you want to make them feel welcome, but be extravagant. Offer taste samples. You could have little cards with the story on sitting on the table, but that's it. This isn't a preaching thing. This is to help you understand that text of inviting people and the graciousness of God. Make sense? Thanks for watching this episode of the Bible for My Friends. See more on my channel at youtube.com/JN and you can visit me at 300wordsaday.com. And if you want, you can send me food. I'd take that. See you next time.